know exactly where the money came that paid for that. We also know, and this is not even controversial, I mean, even the people that defend the orthodox theory agree on this. Well, first, as background, in the United States, we think of the CIA. You know, the CIA is supposed to be the agency which is in charge of international spies, and the FBI is supposed to be in charge of what happens in the United States. So there's these two spy agencies. No, we have 16 different spy agencies in this country, some of which talk to each other and some of which don't. And in the year before this event happened, the CIA knew that there was a plot of some kind afoot. You know, you can track the records. We know that there's some bad guys who are out to do something. We just don't, we even know who they are, but we don't know where they are. No, it's the FBI that knew. Excuse me, I got it backwards. The FBI knew that there was bad guys that were out to strike at the United States, but they didn't know how and they didn't know where. And the CIA at the same time knew that these were bad guys, and they knew who they were, and they knew where they were, and they knew they were in the United States, but they didn't bother to communicate that fact to the FBI. So at the very least, we are stupid when we trust these people as our intelligence. How intelligent is that? But intelligence agencies in the United States, there are about 100,000 people who work for them. And they spend $50 billion a year on intelligence. You know, think of what we're spending on other social programs. $50 billion a year is spent on intelligence. And they don't talk to each other, supposedly. What else am I going to say? I think, well, no, I want to say one more thing. In a way, you know, we all know that we live in the belly of the beast. And yet it's a kinder, gentler beast than has gone before in many ways. I've written an article about Chicago as the spiritual capital of the world right now, and you can get that information from me on how to find that article if you want later. But part of the gist of it is the idea that there's a wave of energy that goes slowly around the world that we call empire, and you can track it. You can track back to the time when the power of the empire of the world was in China, and then it was in India, and then Persia, and then Greece, and then Rome, and Spain, England, and now it's in the United States. Okay? So if you go back, for instance, to when it was in Rome, things were a little bit more savage than they are here. We got the National Football League, and the Romans had the Colosseums. And, you know, we got a lot of people getting head injuries. We cheer every time they run into each other and try to kill each other. But you don't totally succeed, whereas in Rome, they absolutely did succeed. They killed each other, right? And everybody cheered, and then you got bread after that. I mean, instead of paying a ticket, you were paid to go to the Colosseum because it upped the enthusiasm for the Roman program. And the one thing that was good about the Roman program is it was international. You know, we think Romans, they're the people who became the Italians, but the Romans, as they expanded, became everybody. If you were willing to join, if you were a man and you were willing to join the Roman army, you became a Roman. And so they were starting to solve racial issues at the same time that they were creating other problems. And we're still doing a lot of that. But we've evolved a little bit. And you can look around the world right now. There's a lot of countries where if you tried to have a meeting like this, Try to have a meeting like this in China or Russia or most of the countries of the Middle East, or Africa. One of those intelligence agencies or one of their SWAT teams would be in the door by now. So we got to look at both sides. We got to look at both sides. But our job is to take it one step further. Everybody who's fought for the spiritual evolution of humanity has had their own frozen resistance to confront, and we do too. But whatever our art is, whatever our service is, our seva, we're each doing our part, and we're bonding with each other and loving with each other, and it keeps spreading out, and that's what we're doing. So, and we're going to gather with our 4 panel members, so choose a story that you want to hear more about, or somebody you want to question.
May I ask a question, just to, everyone can think about it in the panel if they want, or respond now if that's what wants to happen. I'm just thinking about everything that's been said, and one thing that I've heard a lot in this space, because I've been coming to Chicago for many years, is that we are on the cusp of a great change. And I wonder, you don't have to raise your hand, but I wonder how many of you really believe that? And if you do, you can raise your hand. And if you do, I'm going to ask you a question that Sanji asked me a few years ago. Y'all know Sanji. Can you show me any evidence? What evidence can you show me? That's my question. That's right.
Okay, we're just going to, spend a few minutes, maybe 5, at most 10 minutes, so that the 4 people, if we could just take space and gather around whoever you want. And if you want to talk in one circle and then go talk with somebody else, that's fine. But let's gather around. And your questions or your comments about the things that the 4 of us have done.
Okay.